All right, we're here live with Chris and Aaron. And Chris is a local agent here in Texas. I think you actually live just a few minutes from me,
Yes.
even though we haven't crossed paths a whole lot. But you were telling me a little bit about your business and what you've got going on. And I'm awestruck with just how you got into the business and what your real estate journey's been. If you could kind of go through a little bit about your real estate journey, how you got started, or even what you did before that to get you interested in real estate.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for having me here, Aaron.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my first career, I was in corporate finance. So most of it, I worked at Dell Computers in Austin. But last couple of jobs, I ended up coming up here to Dallas-Fort Worth area. And right, my last job in corporate finance, I ended up stumbling upon a Robert Kiyosaki seminar, just like a couple-hour thing, So it was one evening in some hotel. I had nothing better to do, so I said, I'll go check it out. And that got me interested in real estate. I didn't really know what I wanted to do in it, but I knew I wanted to be in it. So I ended up stumbling from there onto multifamily investments. And so started just barely started getting my toes into investing passively in multifamily syndications.
Wow.
And then
I'm just going to cut you off. So did you know that the conference was happening, or it was just kind of like in your same hotel, or?
No, I just saw like an ad. It was either on the web or newspaper or something like that.
That's
so
super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read all of Kiyosaki's books, but I've never been to a live seminar of his. I imagine it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and he wasn't there, but
yeah,
all the salespeople were.
Right.
So anyway, from there, I did discover multifamily and everything. Got into that, and corporate career I thought was going decent. I was making good money and good benefits and everything, but I was stressed out, miserable. My health wasn't great, and toxic work environment and everything. And then last job I had gotten fired from my job, like literally almost to the day that I had finished reading Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow Quadrant, which my multifamily mentor had recommended I read. And I just had an epiphany. It's like, hey, I'm not meant to work for anybody else. So I went and told my wife, and so look, I'm not getting another job, I'm going to figure this out.
Well, that's awesome. So you got on the right side of the equation then.
Yeah, we're at least on the lower left to start off.
Yeah, right.
I went from having a job to owning a job.
Yes.
So actually, and I hired I didn't have enough capital in multifamily at the time to make a living. So I figured I'm gonna have to do something else. It's going to involve some more single family strategy. So I actually hired a single family mentor. Spent $20,000 on a credit card that I didn't have at the time, and just started getting to work. Doing flips, wholesaling, seller finance, rentals, doing some creative financing to keep all the balls near and everything. And then I had this great idea. So I thought that my wife should get her real estate license so she could sell my flips.
Yeah.
She kind of nodded her head and everything and said, okay, but she wouldn't take any action. So I said, okay, I'll just get my license myself. And my goal at the time was to be my one and only client.
Yeah.
So I failed pretty miserably at that. But just from acquaintances and mostly investor circles and everything, started getting some business through that. And then 10 months into it, I discovered EXP. So that's when kind of everything went off on a different trajectory.
Very cool. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. You got into basically real estate investments, both single family and multifamily.
Right. Yes.
And you had a coach. You called him mentor. Was it like a coaching kind of thing, or was it somebody that walked you through actually how to do everything?
Walked me through a lot of the single family strategies and everything, and he even partnered with me on the deal.
Wow.
He found a deal. I brought in a lot of their money and everything, and oversaw it. And so we worked together for about a year.
So there was a lot of coaching and collaboration involved in that.
There was, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I parallel that with kind of like the traditional real estate business too. I know you haven't done a ton of traditional real estate, which is perfectly fine. You've gone a different route and are massively successful with it. But I think it's true no matter what you get into, whether it's real estate investing, what it is, you have to have that collaboration as well as that coaching aspect, because there's no way you can, like build a house all at one time. You have to go brick by brick. You have to.
I was in a situation where, I probably could have figured it out eventually.
Right.
But I also may have run out of money before I figured it out.
Right.
I had to make things happen pretty quickly, or, also was going to be having to go get another job, which I was determined at the time never to have to go work for anybody else again. So, I figured like, hey, this will cut a lot of time off that my skills development and learn how to do this. And, plus it's making big mistakes is a lot more expensive than paying a mentor.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And trying to avoid those big mistakes is, especially when you're talking investments in multifamily. I mean, I'm assuming it's large sums of money there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And so did the multifamily, single family stuff, then decided I'm going to get you're going to get your wife licensed. I did the same thing. And, okay. I'm sure she hates me for it, but no, she's actually really good at this. But when you got licensed, were you trying to help other people, or is it just solely for your own investments?
The original intent was just to sell my own flips, but it was long before just some friends, that I knew through real estate investor networking. Would ask me for some help. So I started helping other, mostly investors, but some other folks help buying and selling houses. I wasn't really trying to market or anything like that, but, I was happy to help out.
Yeah. You're not going to turn down business or
right. Yes.
If they come in, right.
Yes. And then it just kind of grew organically from there.
That's awesome. So you were, what kind of real estate company were you with? You don't have to mention the exact name if you don't want to, but what kind of organization were you with when you first started?
So I ended up with a flat fee shop.
Okay.
And everything. And sounded good on the surface and everything, but I pretty quickly learned that 100% of nothing is nothing.
Yeah. It's pretty good math.
Yeah. So, and I had a mentor that they hooked me up with, and she was actually pretty good. And so still friends to today. And then about 4 to 5 months in to that, she had a disagreement with the broker.
Okay.
Which meant her going to a smaller boutique brokerage and everything. It was an XKW agent that started it. And so I ended up following her over there. And actually, I started doing better over there.
Gotcha.
But then, another 4 to 5 months, EXP crossed my path. And,
so how long were you in business when you saw EXP?
I was 10 months in when I joined EXP.
Okay. And when was that exactly?
That was my anniversary dates, like September 1st, 2016.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're like almost a year and a half prior to me actually getting into EXP.
Okay.
So you've been in a long time. So there was probably 4,000 agents at the time, maybe?
I think there were like 16 to 1,700.
Holy cow. Yeah. So you're a
first. It was like a adopter where they just cleared the roads and they're all dirt, and the sales office is a trailer park or the trailer.
Yeah. So you were there. I remember when I came in, our systems and tools to bring in new agents wasn't as good as it is right now. It took a good couple weeks for us to actually transition in. Now it's like the same day. Someone makes a decision to come to EXP, it's pretty much same day you're in and going, which is awesome.
There's been a great enhancement of systems and processes since then, but it's been fun, watching us develop it and being part of the growth.
So when EXP came across your path, September 16, what was the intrigue there? Were you having an issue where you currently were as far as being able to do what you wanted to do? Or was it just you saw the model, it stuck, and you wanted to move forward with it.
Yeah, I was perfectly satisfied with my current brokerage. I wasn't really looking for a change, but I through being exposed to Robert Kiyosaki, especially, I'd become very focused on passive income. I was investing in the apartment complexes and just I really wanted that more than anything to get financial and time freedom. And another factor I would say was part of that was when I was at Dell, one of my roles that I had was integrating what we called software as a service companies we were buying. I mean, basically it's like cloud-based companies.
Okay.
But different kind of business than what EXP is. But I was involved in the financial modeling of a lot of these companies and got really into the weeds and all the details. And one thing that I could see a clear like pattern recognition was that these companies, when we were buying them, they were typically losing money. In fact, when we came in, usually they were undercapitalized. We'd come in and, you have a certain fixed cost structure and break even. And so most of these companies, you'd have relatively high fixed costs and then minor incremental variable costs per seat.
Okay.
And I can see the same thing at EXP. It's like, hey, all the plumbing and everything, putting in EXP World and, just designing it and everything. That was a lot of money to do it. We were losing money at the time, by the way, too.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
People kick rocks at this penny stock and everything. But,
right.
And I can see like, hey, once we can cover all those fixed costs, we should be able to reach an inflection point and get to profitability and great profitability very quickly. Now, I had no idea it would grow this fast, but
yeah,
I did see a lot of potential from that, drawing the corollaries from my prior work and looking at software as a service companies in their early infancy, and maturing. I could see the same potential for EXP.
So you kind of looked at it from a totally different light, from more of like a technical analysis. Is that correct? More than
yes, it is, and
an agent analysis or broker analysis.
I think for our sponsor, probably one of his easiest people to get on board because it was not very difficult once I really figured it out.
It's just black and white numbers for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've always been kind of a tech geek anyway. So I loved just the whole thing of the cloud, the technology focus and all that.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, we're both in the basically same area. So, from my house, there's like 8 brokerages within like 3 miles. Right. So you could go just about anywhere, but chose to go to this virtual cloud-based company when that wasn't real popular back in 2016.
Right. But even at my prior 2 brokerages, I was still mostly working on a house anyway. So,
right.
I didn't see a big deal there.
Yeah. And I've been home now basically since 2016, 17, 18. And, the big difference is people are like, oh, how do you work out of your house? I'm like, well, realistically, it's fairly simple because I'm usually at other people's houses. I'm meeting them, at a neutral location if it's a buyer and then showing them houses, or I'm going to their house to do a listing agreement. I'm not going to do that in my office, right?
Yeah, driving to and from the office and spending time at the office is usually not a key income producing activity.
Yeah, and who are you spending time with? Other agents that aren't with buyers and sellers, right? So instead of spending that time driving to and from the office or at the office with people that aren't going to make you money, spend time with the people that are buyers and sellers or, things like that. So, it's just it's kind of a paradigm shift, but once you make it and then start living it, you don't know how you did it the other way, or at least I don't.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. As far as passive income, I'm kind of really interested about this apartment stuff and what you did there. Buying apartments, do you still own them or did you?
Yeah. So, and just to be clear, I don't buy them by myself. So,
right. Yeah.
It's basically, and I've taken a passive interest in them. So, basically, I network with folks who are interested in acquiring apartment complexes, and it's called a syndication. So, basically, you gather a group of accredited or sophisticated investors,
okay,
qualified by the SEC, and we all kind of pitch in, form an LLC, and and capitalize it. We also raise debt,
Yeah.
usually from banks or federal agencies. Use that to acquire the apartments. And then there's a business plan, usually like 3 to 5 years. Sometimes it can go longer.
Okay. So, and
And
then you sell them out? Is that what you
yes,
do?
we do.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've done that, now over 40 times. And over the last couple of years, I've started branching into other stuff. So I'm getting into some like oil and gas wells, commercial triple net fund I'm in. Also doing Bitcoin mining facility syndication. That's
Really?
probably one of my least impressive ones right now.
It was really cool a couple of years ago. You probably did really well when it was
I'm a
at
big
60
believer in
grand.
the future of that. I invest in crypto on the side myself too. So, it's just a rough spot, but I feel it'll end up coming out okay. It's just,
It's like any other
a slow
market, right?
trial.
It goes
Yeah,
up, it goes down, like anything else. And how long do you want to ride out the ride, kind of thing.
right.
With crypto or with even real estate. Now that we're in this kind of like shifting market, you don't just give up on it because it's down, right? You ride out the storm because it's
Right.
going
And
to come
that's a
down.
lot of times when the best deals are to be had too. So
Absolutely. I think it was Warren Buffett, right, that said, when everybody else is greedy, be fearful. When
yep,
everybody else is fearful, be greedy.
absolutely.
Right. So now's the time, realistically, if you're a buyer, to actually go out there and buy. You don't have to pay over list price and waive appraisals and all this other stuff that we had to do over the last few years.
Yeah. So I'm still, looking for deals.
Yeah, cool. And then so came into EXP. You still investing some, and then now you were attracted because of the leverage piece, I believe, because of the passive income. Tell me a little bit about that, what it's done for you, what it's done as far as a change for either your personal life, business life, what have you.
Yeah. So, first of all, I mentioned that I was still doing the single family investing
Okay.
up through about 6 months in. So I think it was about March of 2017. I was doing most of it up in Grayson County, like in Sherman, Denison,
Okay.
seeking better margins because it's a little bit less competitive. But it was a long drive.
Yeah.
I was going there probably like 2 or 3 times a week at least. So it just came like a kind of a beat down. And then I just thought like, probably good times. Like I just need to just drop this completely and go all in on focusing on building my team. And so, I just like finished out all my projects. I still had a rental house that I kept for probably a couple years longer because I had really good tenants in it and just kept that until they moved out.
Okay.
And then I just went all in on building that. And so, this date, right now I've got 19 agents on my front line. I've got 2,314 agents totally.
Holy smokes.
And so growing like wildfire.
So
And
your brokerage, your mini brokerage inside of EXP has 2,300 agents, which is pretty insane when you.
yes. And, I was working towards the financial freedom, and it's given me that beyond, all the syndications I've done. It produces a lot more cash flow than that. So it's given me total financial freedom, but even more importantly, I think it's the time freedom.
Awesome.
And I love what I do. I'm passionate about this. Helping agents change their lives and their families' lives. And so that's what keeps me going. But, it's nice. I do what I want, when I want, where I want. And, I've got location freedom, time freedom. And, it's been very fulfilling, and I feel incredibly blessed. It's beyond anything I ever dreamed of.
But yeah, now you can give back all this stuff that you've learned and paid for, and with your investment background in both single family, multifamily, and teach others how to do it, or even how to grow a team with inside EXP or their own mini brokerage.
Yeah, that's been really the secret of it too. Is like, I mentioned, I've only got 20 on my front line, roughly.
Yeah,
and it's all about duplication. Helping other people do the same thing, and that's the cool thing is that, I've got people under me that are actually killing me at it and, making a lot more income at it. And I'm their biggest cheerleader,
Absolutely. You want to see other people
help them
succeed.
thrive.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. You want to see other people succeed and outpace you. And I think any leader wants that for people that, say, hey, I want to follow what you're doing. You want to see them outpace you eventually.
Absolutely. It's a great feeling.
Yeah. Awesome. As far as that team system goes, I see also that you're now getting certified as a success coach. Tell me a little bit about that, what that is, and why you're deciding to do that.
Yeah. So, a couple of years ago, eXp World Holdings bought Success Enterprises.
Okay.
Many of y'all may have heard of the Success Magazine. And so we bought that property and have been expanding it quite a bit more. So one of our new business ventures is coaching in that. And we brought on Jarek Robbins, Tony Robbins' son, heads up Success Enterprises now. And they've developed a really robust coaching program. And it's integrated some within eXp, but it's also goes well beyond that to where we can coach anybody, whether in real estate or not, or other brokerages too. So he built up a good coaching program. And the first and foremost reason I wanted to do this was to just help me become a better leader. So, I feel like I've got a big obligation to all my business partners, wanting to be the best leader I can to help them be more successful. And so, I think it's also great for attraction, just to be able to really understand people's motives and how you can help them better, ask more powerful questions and everything. And, I'm sure I'll be a coach with success as well and do that. And I'll let that grow as it just grows naturally. But I'm not really, just like when I got into real estate, I'm not really looking to grow a coaching business, but
right.
I love helping people. So as it grows, we'll see what happens. But
that kind of goes hand in hand, like I know from my past experiences being a teacher, whatever you were teaching, you actually learned more teaching because you had to be a master at that when you were giving it to someone else. Right. The same thing in real estate. The more that you can pour into other people, the more you learn about it. I think it kind of goes hand in hand. So you actually benefit by giving.
Yes. And I actually have a coach with success coaching too.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, and he's incredible. And, I only dream that I can become as effective as he is at some point.
That's awesome.
But I have some big shoes to grow into to get there.
Well, I'm like like I said before, like I'm in awe of all the stuff that you did in order to get where you are in real estate and all the ancillary businesses that you've done in and around real estate. I think it's awesome. And I just wanted to say, thank you for coming on here and sharing your story.
Oh, thank you. Honored to be here. I mean,
yeah,
you're a huge inspiration as well. I mean, you saw a ton of real estate. You're an icon agent, so you do many things I've never done, and honestly won't ever do. So, it just shows that there's the beauty of this business I love is there's so many different paths to be able to prosper and find joy and happiness in it. Earning good living, so.
Well, thanks again. And I appreciate it. And I'm going to have to take you for a coffee, especially since we're nice and close. I'm going to pick your brain even more. So,
hey, anytime. Be happy to do that.
All right. Thank you, sir. You have a blessed day.
Okay. You're welcome. Take care. Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks.